the first thing I want to ask about, I watched the Brian Danielson and Dustin Rhodes match. Tremendous match on All Elite Wrestling. Rodney, have you had the opportunity to see this match?
Excuse me, I was coughing at time when you were saying that. No, I've sorry, I missed that.
That is a
Who was doing the commentary
match
on that?
Huh?
Who did the commentary on that match?
Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and whatever that other guy's name is.
With all of them yelling at you while they were doing the commentary.
I don't think they were yelling that. I watched a fan thing from that. I don't think I watched the actual thing.
Oh, okay. Well, then you've saved yourself. Then go ahead.
I probably have, yeah. But let me ask you this question: Why did they wrestle each other? I mean, Jack, I'm just saying, like, why did they put these two people together?
Well, the synopsis of the whole thing is that there's a tournament to face apparently the heavyweight champion, and they were matched up in the tournament. So as far as that goes, I guess it made sense for Danielson to lock up with him and to advance on in the tournament. Now, whether they're going to put the belt on him or not, I don't know. But as far as the quality of the match, I thought this was one of the best professional wrestling matches I have seen in a very long time. At least the best match this year.
The reason I say that is I watched it and they made him submit. And I kind of
wait. You made who submit?
They made Dustin. He made Dustin submit to what I don't know what you would consider. It looked like a chokehold. Looked like it choked him down to me. But
was that an illegal hold? You're saying that was an illegal hold?
I'm saying it was illegal, and I'm protesting of All Elite Wrestling. I'm giving Tony Khan a call, and I'm going to act like I'm one of the wrestlers, and he'll do something about it. Now,
that's right. You have to be a WWE wrestler for him to listen to you. Go ahead.
But this is the thing, though. I don't understand why you would do that, because Dustin should be pushed. He should be in a 12-week program with someone, some form or fashion. He shouldn't be beat. He should be one of their top stars for the next 3 years, and he should be pushed. I don't understand why they beat him that way.
Can I go ahead, Jack? Maybe.
I think this is kind of his own choosing to a certain extent. He knows he's on the tail end of his career, and his focus now is more on building talent. Danielson is not a guy that you should have to build. He's already built. But still, in theory, I understand why he's doing what he's doing. Now, would I be pushing him to the top of the card? You better believe I would.
Yeah, I don't.
So I think it's a huge missed opportunity by utilizing him just to build the next generation.
And because he's a great wrestler, and he still got it. He still has the ability to get in the ring. So I don't understand why they're not doing something with him. He should be one of their top guys. There should be, as Jim Cornette talks about, the Great Eight. And there you should have 8 people that in the next 3 years is going to be your top stars. And after 3 years, you take away 4 of those and get another 4, and you continuously have the Great Eight. That's the way territories were always booked around.
Right.
Okay, now that we got out of that, why is there snow?
Wait.
Go ahead, Red.
Now, you said it was a great match, and you asked why he did what he did. Number one, they set the standard. Maybe all the other wrestlers who are obviously calling their own shots. Okay, let's just be honest. They're calling their own shots. Tony might say, well, no, they're not. Yeah, they are. That's the reason you see repeatedly the same thing over and over and over again, especially jumping people behind the scenes. Number 2 is that he showed that even when I lose, look, I will even submit in a match just to set a standard for the people he's trying to train, because it doesn't mean anything. Dustin can still be built up, as y'all, I think both of you understand. He can still be built up. He can still be on the main event. He can still be a great draw. So losing, as we've said before, means nothing. The only thing that means something is if you're no longer seen on television. That's
my point is this: it's a baby face versus baby face. If there's a certain thing left in this world,
there. Remember, Cody says there's only shades of gray, and that's what he believes in. There's none of that there.
To add to this, Dustin has been doing this, it seems like, for over a year now. He hasn't really been involved in anything that even springs to mind for me that was significant other than putting somebody over. Now, he does it with great style.
Yes.
And you still believe in him and his abilities, it just seems a waste.
It's a waste. Yeah. Dustin Rhodes should be pushed to the top, and he is still be able. I think it was a waste of beating him when they could have they could have had him beat someone else. Why is there snow for Sting?
Okay, do y'all remember the old WCW angle of what was it called? Blood Runs Cold.
I don't think.
Remember that? Yeah, that was Ray Lloyd's character. What was his character?
Glacier.
Glacier. Yeah, and remember all that snow that they used to have that came down? Well, apparently Sting owned stock in that company, and there was just a ton left over.
I mean, what?
Well, that makes sense. Okay.
You look like he had dandruff when they did the. Okay, this is a question I got to ask again. I've watched. You'll notice all this is about All Elite Wrestling because I got to ask him questions. I just want to be informed of what's going on here. What purpose does it serve to beat up Sting if MJF is going against Darby Allin? Because doesn't that defeat the purpose? Doesn't that make you want to see MJF go against Sting instead of Darby Allin?
Quit applying psychology.
That is correct. I was about to say, yes, you're looking for Tony Khan to make sense. You're going to be waiting a long time.
And remember, if you were going to push Darby
than Ted Turner,
if you're going to push Darby to go against MJF next, why did you let CM Punk beat him? Well, he's been beat. So if MJF beats him again, then that means Darby Allin's going to get beat twice on a big stage. So if you really thought he was going to be the guy that'd be pushed, why would you just keep on beating him? Makes no sense whatsoever. Why would you do that? It makes. I mean, I'm just trying to find out.
He's not an alumni of the WWE.
They're fixing to turn this Warlord guy, Warlow. It looks like they're going to ditto. But is Leo Rush not doing the same exact gimmick that MJF is doing?
Yes.
Just because he's treating Seidel bad. This Matt Seidel or whatever his name is. I think he's got a brother that's hurt right now. So what did they just get in the dressing room and say, well, I'll just do the same thing you just did, and I'll do it with Matt Seidel instead of doing with.
Yes,
works for him. Let's do it here too.
You're exactly right.
I'm just asking these questions, okay? There's questions I want to ask. All right, Jack, I'll ask you this question: is CM Punk been done right in AEW?
Absolutely not. And worse than him not being done right is the fans have not been done right by him. And it's not his fault because he's going out there and he's giving some really good matches in, and he's still getting a tremendous response. But how long is that going to keep up with this mindless booking that they're doing with it? There's just no direction.
When he first came there, he went against Darby Allin, which made no sense.
Yep.
You had enough time to build some heat on somebody for him to come in and beat him. And when he beat him, it meant something. You have him go against Darby Allin. Darby Allin's, it didn't help him, CM Punk, at all by beating him. Then he goes beats, I don't know, some other guy. Then he beats this guy named Hard Body something or, whatever. Yeah. But then it turns around a week later and the Orange Cassidy beats the same guy. So that meant he beat nobody. If Orange Cassidy can beat somebody, he beats them with his hands in his pockets. You not doing. If I was CM, if I was CM Punk, I'd went in that dressing room and said, "You mean to tell me you had me go out and have a match with this guy, and now that guy that puts his hands in his pockets beat him as well? Now, how bad did it make me look?" And I mean, it just made no sense. This whole CM Punk. Then he's going against Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish got beat twice on television.
Yeah,
twice.
I don't get that either.
And now they're putting them on this show. Makes no sense again. Makes no sense. The booking makes no sense. You just beat Bobby Fish twice on television. Why does anybody care to go see him go against CM Punk? They know CM Punk's going to win.
Apparently, they're using WWE's big spinning wheel that was on the show NXT last week, and they're putting names up there, and they're just spinning until whoever it lands on, that's who we're sticking in there with CM Punk.
I just don't. I watched that today. I just wanted, I don't watch a lot of it, but I got to watch all it.
Look, I can see this actually happening before every show. CM Punk checking his bank balance and going, "Okay, I'm ready. Who am I working tonight?"
Make sure
I know why they're doing it. All right, now I'm going to talk one more thing about All Elite Wrestling, and then we'll move on to something else. Adam Cole. What in the world did he believe that he was going to go to All Elite Wrestling and his career was going to be a whole lot better than what he was going? He should have cut his hair and he should have been a manager at WWE, because they had him out there as the Ghostbusters on the last show that I saw, and these other guys, stupidest, goofiest crap I've ever seen. Adam Cole, you made a major mistake in your career. You're going to be out of the wrestling business, and you better make sure that Tony Khan stays in business, because I'm telling you, that's the dumbest thing I ever seen in professional wrestling.
I think this is a slow build towards him working against what's their heavyweight champion?
Omega.
I don't care. Anyway, yeah. I think this is a slow build towards him turning on Omega. I think the entire group turning on Omega, which the only thing worse than Omega as a heel is he is a babyface, followed by just him. But anyway, I think this is their way of building a storyline with him. I think they have told him things that right now he's just having fun. And I get having fun. That's fine. But without some kind of long-term ideas in place, I think I would be, like you're saying, I would be really rethinking the decisions I've made.
Yeah, I think it's too late now. I don't think Vince would bring him back.
And there are worse things. Let's just discuss this just for a second. There are far worse things than not being able to wrestle and still making top dollar.
This is true. Adam Page also ended up in this match. He was the buff man.
Which by the way, I went as the Stay Buff Marshmallow Man for Halloween also, but I didn't have to have a costume. So
he was the buff man. That's all I can say about that. Okay, let me see. What else did I have here? Ring of Honor, evidently, taking a time off. Supposedly going to return during WrestleMania weekend to live shows. Let me ask you all this question. If you're the Ring of Honor, or you're any other wrestling company for that matter, and Rodney, I'll ask you this question. Is it smart actually to book your show right against and I know they do well with it. I understand why they do it, but doesn't that make your wrestling company kind of look small and weak? And
that's because they are weak and they are small. So you're just a hanger on. You're a parasite. You're just going around. It's like when we used to work for the circus, and other circus would try to date us before we came in, and so they would try to capitalize on your advertisement. Same exact thing here. So they're weak, and yes, that's the reason they do it.
And to be fair to Ring of Honor, they're not the only ones that piggyback off WrestleMania week. You know, there's every night you can find an independent wrestling show within driving distance of WWE's arena. It's become commonplace. It's become accepted. I know Vince tries to even pay to have other arenas just set empty so as they can't come too close to him. But, I mean, how much can you do? And I think it's kind of pointless at this point for him anyway, because they're the big dogs in town. They're selling out. Yeah. You know, everybody else is just picking up the leftovers, basically.
Right. It's like seagulls and pigeons picking up bread.
But when you're Sinclair Network, when you're Sinclair Broadcasting, I mean, they're $1 billion company. I mean, it's not like they don't have money. It's not like, just think of the wrestling
airwaves
company they could have. I have gotten in touch with Joe Koff. I have gotten in touch with him because I wanted to just see what was going on with that. It'd be sad to say that Ring of Honor went out of business when they didn't really give it a chance. The last couple of months, it's just been comedy routine after comedy routine.
Yeah, and 18 months since they've been able to hold an event in front of a crowd. That's tough. It's tough on morale. It's tough to produce, and goodness, it's tough on a pocketbook. I don't care who's paying for it. That's hard to recover from. I understand what they're doing, and I hope they can come back from this. And while it's sad, don't get me wrong, I'm sad that all those guys that had jobs there, men and women, that they're all getting released. I hate that. I do. But in the same token, here we are opening up a door for young talents out there that have never gotten this opportunity to now to be able to go on Ring of Honor when they come back as a fully independent show to showcase their talents out there. Now, is it the smartest thing for Ring of Honor? I don't know. So what happens when you don't have contracts and you've got this great wrestler as your heavyweight champion, and all of a sudden Vince or Tony Khan or somebody pays attention to him and says, hey, I want this guy, and if he's not under contract, then he's going to go. Yeah. So unless you can have some kind of agreement where at least show by show you have some kind of agreement, then you're kind of up the creek.
Right. Because that could end up with you coming up to the main event and said, oh, by the way, I'm not going to show up unless you pay me such and such amount of money. So that could lead to that for sure. Or they say, well, somebody else is giving me more money down the road. I'm going to go work for them unless you want to match them. Same thing.
Yep.
All right. Another thing that I found out that, and this is going back to AE, January 8th, there's going to be a TNT special, 1 hour. They're only going in 1 hour, and it's going to be called Battle of the Belts. The old championship wrestling from Florida had a couple of them battle of the belts. They actually last year, I think, did some type of. I guess they got the trademark. They got that name trademarked, so they can use Battle of the Belts, and I guess that's going to be their TNT specials. I guess that's very interesting that they would use Battle of the Belts. So somebody goes back a ways there. I don't know who that would be. Because I don't think Cody was around during the Battle of the Belts, was he?
No, that was wasn't it Florida the first one to do that?
Yeah.
I believe so.
All right, now Miz has been eliminated.
Oh no, Rodney, no. This means he'll be back on Raw.
Oh,
from the Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, he got eliminated. Oh, too bad.
I absolutely cannot say anything bad about The Miz because my youngest daughter thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to be doing a North American tour. They're going to do, I think, maybe Dallas, Texas, California, a bunch of places. How do you think, Rodney, New Japan Pro Wrestling, how are they going to do in the United States? I mean, are they going to catch on?
Unless they're going to do it by invisible means, I don't know how they're promoting their shows. So I'm not sure. Are they on a TV network here? If they're promoting it, or
are they yet? I don't know.
No, they're not on a network presently, but they do have a strong social media presence. They have their program is available on YouTube, the American version, to help promote these shows. So they do, in essence, they do have a foothold here. So and let's also remember,
they'll do
well. If they, as long as they go into large markets where there's a lot of fans of their particular style. Now, so they're not going to come to, they're not going to come to Birmingham and drop.
Sure.
But now they can go to In fact, Long Beach, I believe, is where they ran before COVID hit, and drew a massive crowd. So there's a market there for them, and I hope they do good because personally, I like
Los Angeles. So probably Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. That would probably
you could do Chicago, you could do New York, New Jersey. I don't know if anybody wants to go to New Jersey, but anyway, there's large markets they should do.
Speaking of New Jersey, did you hear about this guy? I don't even know what his name is, but evidently they had some kind of match there, and the guy got caught on fire. and now he's in major pain in in the hospital. Some Japanese guy who's doing wrestling, some kind of death match deal with the deal, but he caught on fire. When the New Jersey State Athletic Commission allows people to get caught on fire, and they let them come back and do that more.
Do they have an athletic commission? I'm not sure. I know New York does, but I'm not sure about New Jersey.
So New Jersey doesn't have one. Well, maybe.
Well, apparently the fire extinguisher company didn't make any money off of it.
They did put them out. They said they did.
I did see. I did not know that there was a guy in the ring, because when they showed it, the whole middle of the ring was just in flames, and I didn't find out till later that there was somebody inside those flames.
And if I'm not mistaken, no, it's Connecticut. There was one state that when we did the circus, they made us have charged lines up and down by the tent because of a fire in Connecticut. I forgot what town it was in, and you had to have charge lines run each because it burned down, and many people passed away in that thing. So I would say that they would have to have fire people the wrestling matches now, and it'll cost them a fortune. Of course, government people are going, oh wow, wrestling's coming, we're going to get paid.
All right, we're going to talk about one more thing, and then we'll go to the top 100 wrestlers of all time here. Bray Wyatt, he has said that he's going to spill the beans on WWE. Have y'all heard this? That he's going to spill the beans? What is he going to tell them? Well, what would he say?
I don't know, but honestly, I'm going to listen to see what he's got to say.
Me too, just to see. What I had heard, that I know this is what I heard. Now I don't know if this is true or not, so don't take me. But I had heard that actually Bruce Pritchard and John Laurinaitis, I think they both said he deserved to be gone. That he had a bad attitude, that he was out of shape. He couldn't work good. I don't know. That's just what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. But
well, I'm going to dispute the out of shape, because there was a picture posted on social media just days before he was let go, and he was in the best shape I have ever seen him in. I mean, I guarantee he'd lost a good 40 pounds and was just, jacked for a guy. I mean, he looked fantastic. So that is out the window. There's absolutely no truth to him not being in shape. Now, is he difficult to deal with? I don't know. Maybe if they hadn't jerked him around so many times, changing his whole gimmicks and never listening to anything he had to say about it, I guess I'd have a bad attitude too.
To me, they should have kept him as the whatever the family that he had. The Fiend just was just crazy, and and if they blame him for that was their crazy idea.
To a part of the audience, that was getting over. My issue with that is that they just kept swerving everything about that. They'd build him up, then they'd just beat him. Then they'd build him up, and then they'd just beat him again. There was no, keeping him at a top level. He was viewed at one time as being the current new age version of The Undertaker. And I could kind of see that to a certain extent, different way at it, but he could have been a major, major star, but they did not know what to do with him. They knew how to get him there. They didn't know what to do, because once they got him there, they were just like, let's just beat him, build somebody else.
Crazy. I believe they're afraid that somebody's going to get over.
Well, I think it goes back to the fact that Vince has long said he did not want any single individuals leading the company. He wanted wrestling, or the WWE logo to be what everybody pays money to see. That their brand, not certain people on the show, the whole thing, which makes no sense at all.
No, it doesn't. It never has worked in the history of his wrestling company.
Now, the idea of building someone up and then beating them that's typical. That has been used over the years. Jerry Lawler was the king of it. If I may pardon the pun, he was the king of it. Kamala was developed just so that he could beat him. Okay, that was what he was used for. And like I said before, it's not the point that he lost. It's the point that will he be on TV the next week and they start building again? Did you keep a job? That's the point. That's the key. And, for him just to be built up. Go ahead.
And in that process, though, at least Jerry was being built and kept on top.
Sure.
You're right. I think that's what the difference is.
There is a difference.
And maybe Vince is thinking, if I build a whole bunch of guys, then no one of them can come to me and say, I'm the leader of the pack and you need to pay me more. But if you got a leader of the pack and he's filling your buildings up, you need to be paying him more.
Yes. And it's important to have the one star. Every TV program has a star.
Yes.
A Star Trek, it was William Shatner. Yep. Regardless if anybody wants to say William Shatner was the star, then come Leonard Nimoy. Those were the stars of the show, and you made it around them. If you watch CSI, they had a star of the show, and so any successful show's got a star. And you've got to have a star. And at this point right now, I would say Roman Reigns is probably the biggest star that WWE has, on a regular occurrence. Now, I guess when Brock Lesnar comes in, there's a difference in that. I think Brock brings the numbers up and helps draw the crowd. But let's go ahead and let's transition now to
one other little tidbit of news here that I have is I was able to see Bambi, Selena Majors, this weekend.
All right.
And her program that she's closely associated with, WOW, Women of Wrestling, is coming back. They have signed a deal with Sinclair Broadcasting, who owns Ring of Honor, by the way. But they're going to be syndicating their show into all Sinclair networks all around, or stations all around the nation. So that's a huge deal for them. They start building in January. But the shows won't actually debut till the fall of next year. So big stuff coming from them again.
That's good. We want to wish them a very good luck on that, because some big names involved.
And Selena said to tell everybody out there hello, that she loved being on the show, and hopefully we'll be again before much.
Yes, we will bring her back on, especially when WOW starts. Really getting out there. Maybe they could invite us out to California.
Yeah,
it's Vegas, isn't it?